Hey there. Trump supporters still exist, but when I talk to them, they rarely try to defend President Trump or his actions. Instead, they point out that the radical left is on a rampage, and whether you like him or not, Donald Trump is the only thing standing in its way. I actually agree with just about half of that analysis. Over the past 4 years, the United States has experienced the largest leftward lurch that it has seen since the 1960s. But conservatives are missing the most important thing about this cultural transformation. President Trump isn't standing in the way of this leftward deluge. He's the reason it's happening. Take me as an example. I've always described myself as a conservative. I was raised on Ronald Reagan, and I was a big supporter of Republican policies in my early 20s. That faded over the course of the disastrous Bush years, but as I got less and less comfortable with Fox News idiocy, I could tell myself it was because conservatives had drifted away from Reagan's true legacy. I was certainly never an Obama supporter. Trump's election, however, has convinced me that the era of Reagan is truly dead and buried. Conservatives like to pretend that the unique disgustingness that is Trump's personality and governing style is somehow distinct from conservative principles. They are not. Donald Trump is a Republican president, sitting in the same position as Lincoln, Eisenhower, and Reagan. Trump represents a complete discrediting of everything I was taught about modern U.S. politics. I'm now looking for a good book to read about FDR and the New Deal, and I'm contemplating a video series advocating bringing back unions. What's happening to me? So if that's what Trump's presidency has done to an overeducated white suburbanite like myself, what do you think it's done to the more left-leaning people in our great cities? Well, we actually already know the answer to that question. Socialism-friendly New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the new woman to hate on Fox News. If it weren't for Donald Trump, AOC would still be a bartender. AOC's upset victory over an establishment Democrat in 2018 was 100% the product of Trump derangement syndrome. Joe Crowley was a powerful senior member of Congress who was good at funneling benefits back to his district. But with the inexplicable fact of one of New York City's worst people ending up as president, that clearly wasn't going to work anymore. This was a crisis, so New York voters took a chance on socialism and a charismatic bartender with a well-produced campaign video. Trump derangement syndrome is rational. Trump's election and governing style is an international embarrassment and a constant crisis, and the Democratic Party is reacting. After 40 years of presenting themselves as nicer Republicans, the Democrats really are turning left. Donald Trump did that. A common argument on the right is that Trump's excesses are a response to the left's excesses. You see, this is how you got Trump on Twitter a lot, most often claiming that Democrats were unfairly mean to Mitt Romney in the 2012 election. While I have quibbles with a lot of the specific arguments, I understand the general principle and I think it makes sense. Now reverse it. Maybe transgender bathrooms are the reason we got Trump. Well, Trump is the reason we got the Me Too movement. And Trump is the reason Black Lives Matter is now a respected mainstream organization. Trump is the reason that we essentially had a universal basic income in this country for a couple months this year. Trump is the reason our cities are burning, statues are falling, and people are regularly dying at protests. Thanks to Donald Trump, Washington, D.C. may finally become a state next year, ending the Republican advantage in Congress for a decade or more. Trump is the cause of these things, and the only way they will slow down is if we elect Biden. If Hillary Clinton was elected president, do you really think the Me Too movement would have happened? With Bill Clinton back in the White House? Biden hasn't even been elected yet, and he's already ended the Believe Women No Matter What era. 4 years ago, Black Lives Matter was a fringe movement. Now it ranks up there with Keanu Reeves and the U.S. military in public opinion polling. You think that would have happened if Scott Walker or Marco Rubio were the Republican president? Hell no. We needed Trump's insane George Wallace rhetoric and his over-the-top politicization of the country's police forces to make this happen. I support both of these movements, and I am grateful to Trump for bringing them such great victories. But I am still a conservative by temperament, and I recognize that both of these movements can be taken to excess. Under a Biden administration, we'd all get the chance to calm down and fix criminal justice and the workplace. After another 4 years of Trump, as a straight white male in his 40s, I'd probably have to pay reparations and go live in a re-education camp or something. Trump has completely destroyed the Republican Party's reputation for basic competence and decency with his calamitous mishandling of the coronavirus crisis. Thanks to Trump's public health failure, our finances are ruined and millions upon millions remain unemployed. Because Trump turned masks into a culture war issue, we are now looking down the barrel of one of the grimmest winters in our nation's history. Do you really think any of this would have happened under a President Mike Pence? I saw that debate last week, and yeah, he lies just as much as any other politician, but he was calm and boring. A President Pence probably would have listened to the experts and probably would have won coronavirus, at least politically speaking. If Donald Trump had been removed last February, the country would be in vastly better shape, and the Republicans would probably be cruising to their first popular vote victory in a presidential election in 16 years. If Donald Trump somehow wins in 2020, it will be against the will of an even larger majority of the U.S. people than it was in 2016. The completely justified rage that would produce would truly drive this country insane. Over the past 4 years, a handful of conservative justices have been appointed, but they are exactly as susceptible as anybody else to the political and cultural left-wing tsunami that Donald Trump has built. This November, the only way to vote conservatively is to vote for Joe Biden. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you'd like to get a notification whenever I upload a new video, click on the bell next to the subscribe button. Thanks.